Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Two Dudes Cinematic Universe, the 2DCU. I'm one of your hosts, JD. That's your other host, Kevin, over there. Uh,
Right.
we
Yeah.
apologize for the slight sabbatical. We know it hasn't been since Spider-Man, which feels ages ago. I think I saw that movie 3 times after we reviewed it the first
Yeah.
time. So that has been a while ago. But, I started a new job. We had the holidays. We had Kevin going back to work and all that too. So it's been a busy last couple weeks. So we apologize for taking couple weeks off. But we are back. We're going to get more regular with our content. So don't worry, people. It's not over. The dream is not dead for the two dudes in the cinematic universe. But we're going to review Hawkeye today. I know that show probably ended a week or two ago. But we're going to review it today, share some non-spoiler thoughts and then some spoiler thoughts. So we'll get into that in a second. I just want to know, Kevin, how you been, man? People haven't heard from you in a while. You're alive?
So far pulse is still pumping. I'm good. Everything is well. I got
Good
a
new
lot
year
of
so far.
good new year 2022, the year of the two dudes.
That's right.
It's,
That's what
it's
people are
gonna be
calling it.
great. I've watched a lot of TV recently, and I've been playing a lot of Halo, so all things good.
All things that we like to hear on this show. Video games and TV should be all of your free time. Ignore your parents, kids. That's all your free time should be. So we'll get probably back into a more normal schedule. We'll talk about some of that stuff you've been watching and playing probably next week, Kev. But for now, we're doing just Hawkeye.
Well, how are you, JD? I mean, we didn't.
Well,
talk-
I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah,
See, that's the thing.
I
No
was
one
gonna
ever
say.
asks the guy who's asking.
Right. No, yeah, sure.
But I'm good. I'm good. Like I
Right.
said, I got a new job, so I'm excited about that. But been busy, so so I'm excited. I've been watching less because I have less free time on my hand. So you kind of have to be more pick and choose,
Sure.
a little choosy there. Watch the top stuff, but of course, any Marvel content is on there. Also, want to say shout out: Eternals is out today on Disney Plus. If you were not one of those people who didn't see it in theater, shame on you, but go watch it now at least. Like it's so good. It's so good. You should watch it now. You have no excuses now. And if you have seen it, like me and Kevin, we're probably gonna hang this up, Kevin, and go watch it individually.
100%. Yeah.
I'm so excited that's out. So go check that out. Obviously, check out our Spider-Man review if you had just gotten around to seeing that or had known that we had a review till after you saw it. Go back and check that one out. We had some great guests there. So, but we're talking Marvel and we're talking Hawkeye, and I want to start with Hawkeye non-spoilers. Kevin, your overall thoughts. Last time we checked in, I think we were like 3 or 4 episodes in.
Yep.
We just kind of gave some non-spoiler thoughts of the season so far. It is now concluded. We have seen everything there is to see, post credits and all. What is your thoughts on Hawkeye without spoiling the plot?
I really like this show. We weren't surprised by anything this show, I will say, but I don't think I needed to be impressed by the show. It was a very good transitionary piece, kind of in this like gray area of whatever phase we're in now, phase 4, just kind of moving a couple little arcs that we had along, as well as it was fun. It was a fun little Christmas show. It was only 6 episodes. It didn't need to be crazy, and it looked good. It felt good, and I like every character in it, so I can't complain too much.
Fun is a good way to put it. I did have a ton of fun. I went into this series not having any expectations, and I think the people who were like that, which is probably most of the people, were like, "All right, we're getting a Hawkeye show." We're satisfied, and I was one of those people. I was very satisfied with this show. I had fun. I enjoyed every episode for what it was worth. There's definitely better than others. Like you said, some of our complaints about halfway through were like, "This seems too obvious," but we'll see. Most of it was the too obvious we saw coming. It was a very predictable show in that way. Not a lot of crazy twists and turns. And there are problems I have with this show. There are complaints to be had, but this is one of those shows. Like a lot of the problems, you're like, yeah, but it was a Hawkeye show. Like who cares? Like you know what I mean? So, I think somebody said it to me the other day, and they're right. This show didn't have a ton of consequences. It's lower scale and that's kind of what we needed, I think, right now from a show like this. A lot of big stuff going on in the MCU. If you're following, obviously, the whole timeline, everything. There's 2 separate big problems we just kind of opened up in the last 2 movies, and it's so grand. So it's kind of fun to come back down to earth with these Disney shows, even though Loki was not really down to earth. But stuff like Falcon Winter Soldier and Hawkeye, even though this was way better. I don't mind the small scale stories, and yeah, I definitely have complaints. This isn't my favorite show by any means. It's not even close, I don't think, to my favorite MCU show. We'll get into that towards the end. I still think Loki's got that by quite a bit. I think that's even a tier better than all three of the other ones. But I had a lot of fun. The biggest thing for me is for the show to click, I needed Clint Martin and Kate Bishop, those characters to click and that relationship to click, and it absolutely did.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they were fun to watch interact. And guess what? 85% of the show was them interacting. So if that relationship works, the show's going to work for you. If it doesn't, then I guess, yeah, it probably won't. But it did for me. Did that relationship hit for you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, she has such a great rapport with everyone that she runs into.
Yeah.
The kind of a genuine self about her that you kind of just like. She talks kind of like a human being, which is great. You can tell she's like quirky and young and just I don't know. She talks like our generation, and it's
which this is a very slight spoiler, but just because it matters right now, coming from kind of the rich kid atmosphere that she came in, it's kind of fun. Like it's hard to make rich people, kind of feel down to earth, and I thought they did a great job there.
Absolutely. And when we get into spoilers, she runs into a couple different characters throughout this show, and she hits it off in every scene. So
True,
I gotta say, hats off to Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, it's not just her and Jeremy Renner. She's good with everybody, so that shows she is easy to have chemistry with on screen. And she's a very good young and up and coming actress that I think is going to be more and more a part of the MCU. But with that, I think we both say we liked it. We would both recommend, hey, if you like Marvel, see this. I will say plot wise, and like if you're not a huge Marvel fan, it's like I only watch the big ones. This is one you can miss. Like I think that's fair to say. Like, but if you like the shows, I think this is up there with some of the better ones. So I would say if you like comic book stuff, if you like nerd stuff like that, I don't see how you wouldn't check this out. So definitely check it out. So that was kind of it's 6 episodes. Yeah, these shows are pretty short that way. Yeah. But hit the road if you have not seen it, or I guess you could stay if you don't plan on seeing it or don't really care about spoilers. But we are going to get into specific plot points, characters, spoilers, beats, all that stuff.
Yep.
I want to get into more of the details of the show and some of the stuff we were talking about, but I think we have to start with the big guy himself, the Kingpin reveal. What's so exciting that it is obviously the same Kingpin from the Daredevil series that we both like, correct? You like the Daredevil?
I'm rewatching it right now.
Yeah, it's great.
I love it.
So am I. So I really like that show. One of the ones that Netflix nailed, maybe the only one that Netflix nailed from Marvel.
I like Jessica Jones, but no.
Yeah, but there are others that are decent. I think you ask anyone, this is pretty much their favorite. But either way, it is the same actor. It's still yet to be seen if it's the same exact character. I don't think it's going to be. Stuff would have had to have happened, I think, right, for it to be the same exact character from the show, from the different universe, I guess is what I'm saying. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
Like, is it just the actor playing Kingpin, or is this the Kingpin from the Daredevil show?
I assume it's the Kingpin from the Daredevil because, I mean, Matt Murdock's on Spider-Man.
Yeah, but I don't know if those are just like Jay Jonah, like, oh, we're just taking the same actor to save, but it's not Jay Jonah from the other universe. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Marvel can do it at once now that it opened up multiverse.
It could be. But either way, not overly important. It was super exciting to see that. I want to ask you how you felt about it in a second, but I was so excited that he's in there and he's going to continue to be in there, even though what happened at the end, no one buys that. I was a little disappointed with the use of Kingpin in the final episode, and even the reveal was very underwhelming. Here's a pixelated picture of him on the phone. What were your thoughts on that?
Exactly. Yeah, he is so intimidating in Daredevil. This guy is a towering bulk of a human being, and he's smart as a whip too.
Smart, sophisticated, well-spoken. Like it all kind of comes together for like a great, rich, creepy bad guy. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No, he hits it out of the park in Daredevil, and I just feel like he got nerfed in this. His conversation with the mom awesome. Probably the best Kingpin scene in the show. But everything that is like a call to action for him, especially the fight scene at the end, he looks like a chump, and I don't buy it for a second. But
even his like look of like the Hawaiian, and I understand. I think someone put it up in like a Facebook group. I mean, that's from a specific comic series. That's fine. That's a cool callback, maybe, but I thought it like just added to like with the necklace and it just added to like he was always so like he even like had a point in the Daredevil show where you like go into his closet and he's got the perfect laid out suits like of basically all the same. Like they're very, very like perfect and well dressed. And even like the clothing is like a little bit of a nitpick, but it's just like the white coat with the red like Hawaiian shirt and the necklace. Yeah. It just didn't feel like the same Kingpin. And I wanted it to be basically a spitting image because he was so perfect in that show.
Right.
They have time. I'm not going to be like, well, they ruined Kingpin. They got the same actor. I think they'll hear some of the feedback. And this was one show, one director, one writer's interpretation of him. I can't imagine we're going to get tons of different ideas of where he's going to go. But I was interested to talk about with you because we really haven't talked about this show since. So we're experiencing that together. Overall, though, like I said, I like the show, but there was plot points and things where it's like, okay, the Jack character in general being like the misdirection and trying to be the misdirection and it being his mom, that was the specific thing I was talking about when we were like episode 3 or 4, like there's something that's like so obvious that it can't be right. Yeah. And then it was, and it's like, that's not great. That's not great.
Yeah. Jack is a character, not just the plot twist, but he's like a cartoon man. The way he acts, the way he
had like fun scenes and was like funny at times, but it wasn't worth the weirdness of placing him in this plot in general.
Exactly. It was one of those things that like I have never met a human being close to acting like that before.
Yeah, that's true. That's not a real person in society.
It's just, but he did have his moments. And,
you don't hang out with the Penthouse crowd though, Kev. Maybe they're weird like that. Maybe they have sword fetishes and they're weirdly stepdads who like make jokes and are creepy but like actually genuinely a decent person. It was weird.
Maybe I'm the weird one. Who knows?
I think they tried to be like, look at how creepy he is. Oh, you were wrong. He's actually a good guy. Look at him stabbing people which was also strange. It's like he's fighting with a sword. He's cutting these people to
he's murdering people in Central Park. Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of since we seem to be focusing on the end of the show, I just want to like talk about that final episode in general.
Sure.
I didn't love it. Thought it was all right. I didn't like hate it. But I think, and this is maybe a deeper topic, but I think Marvel has struggled with these Disney Plus series sticking the landing in general.
Sure. Yeah.
I thought WandaVision last episode was like, oh, that's okay. But man, we were really building to something special. Really didn't like Falcon and Winter Soldier's last episode at all. And Loki's was good, but for as amazing as that show was, it was like, oh, I guess I thought I was getting one last kind of
crazy episode.
And although I really liked that episode, I think that was probably the strongest of the 4 shows we're talking about. But there you go. This is a Loki conversation. The last episode was okay. The big thing that I didn't like in this series was I love Yelena. By the way, great. Like Marvel deserves all the credit for their casting. Yelena's great. Like what a great pull off Florence Pugh. Sure. It was awesome in the Black Widow movie. She was great in this. The tension of like why she was mad at Jeremy Renner at Clint was so weird. Like I thought like at the end of Black Widow, she shows him the picture. Oh, well, she's not just going to be like, this lady told me that. Like she's going to say like there's some convoluted story or there's something to get her to the point of like hunting him down that's a little more extreme. It's like, nope, just somebody told him that they killed like your sister, and a 2-minute explanation of what happened could really solve all the tension there. And that final scene that they had together didn't hit for me like I really, really wanted it to, them being the 2 people closest to a Black Widow character that we loved. So
now they can retroactively, correct that,
so you can still have that conversation.
One conversation with what's her name from Seinfeld, and her is just be like, oh, you're I'll do a favor for you and I'll research who actually went and and killed your sister or whatever. And in exchange for you doing these services for me, blah, 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 blah. And
Yeah,
then
but that's not even what I'm talking about. Like, I'm just saying, like, retroactively, I guess it wouldn't help the moment of Clint and her talking and like kind of like having that moment at the end. I guess just didn't work for me. Like, I didn't like the dialogue. Like,
the moment wasn't there.
it wasn't great, and I wanted it to be, because I thought the moments where they did reference Black Widow throughout the series was really, really good. And watching Clint deal with the struggle of losing his best friend and feeling responsible, but knowing what she sacrificed, and you know, obviously there are moments he looks around, it's like these people have no idea, like,
Right.
she did this, like I'm getting credit, like he feels almost guilty. There are really great moments, and I just don't think they capped it off great there. But just a couple things in that last episode, I was like, okay, all right, yeah, this is fine. I will say the LARPers at the end changing into their costumes to direct traffic, because that's the only way people are going to respect them.
One of them was a cop. You know?
What? That was the
Yeah.
worst part of the entire
Worst
show.
part
Did
was-
not like the LARPers at all.
No.
Hated that.
Yeah. No, agreed.
Hated that.
Hated it. Yeah. No,
But
shouldn't have
little
been in there.
moments.
Should have gotten cut. I don't know why. I don't know why they were in characters. You know, they didn't really need them. They needed to get into a police station once.
Because they're in the comics.
Are they?
Like, honestly, yeah, I guess that's like just listening to some other stuff. They're not LARPers though. The LARPers was a choice. They're like, they live in the apartment complex, and it's like they come together to be this little like team that like are back at his apartment, kind of like helping them of like ordinary citizens. So it's like, why add the LARPing bit?
Weird.
For
Very
comedy,
weird.
I guess. But no, the very end when it's like, you're wearing like outfits that would imply you work there. I think directing traffic and that would get you a lot more respect. If some freaking guy was directing traffic in his night costume, I'd be like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah,
Not listening to him. He's not in charge.
No.
Like, it was just so strange.
Yeah.
So strange. But nitpicks like that. What else? What else was your what did you like about this show, spoiler wise? Like, is there something you can share?
I will say no other show that Marvel's produces made me watch another show other than this.
Daredevil.
Daredevil, yeah. I like.
But stuff has made you want to go back and watch it, so that's not really fair. Because it's one of the first properties that's been like, actually, like, there's a different thing that isn't in the MCU that this references, kind of. So, but no, I mean, that's a fair point. It should.
Yeah, exactly. All the characters are great. I love the CG. The fight scenes in this are actually really good.
Yeah, they were good.
Archer dude.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it.
Great. I think it has one of my favorite set pieces that Marvel's done in recent history. In that episode 2 car chase when they're doing different arrows. I was just gonna say
the car chase action sequence was incredible. It was really
absolutely incredible. That Pym arrow, her suggesting arrows to him. Why would I get a boomerang arrow? It's great. The logistics of Hawkeye are so weird, but yeah, no. And we kind of touched on it earlier, but the best part about this show is the downbeats that Haley Steinfeld. God, I keep saying Seinfeld. Haley Steinfeld and Jeremy Renner are like in the apartment shooting the shit, or taking the dog for a walk or whatever, and figuring it out. I like that.
The hearing aid problems.
We
should feed the dog. A couple seconds later, we should feed the dog. It's just stuff like that. Very funny. Yeah, it was funny.
Absolutely.
It's funnier than I expected.
Funny.
Also, throw Florence Pugh in there too. I thought her and Haley Steinfeld's interactions were awesome and a lot of fun. And I look forward to that relationship in the future somehow.
Absolutely. I'm very excited for Echo coming out.
Are you?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was going to be something I was going to say. I'm not. In the fact that I didn't like her character like at all.
No, but I'm very interested to see Kingpin sooner rather than later.
So, did you hear the scuttlebutt that the Echo show is actually Marvel? It's a Daredevil show, but Marvel wasn't going to do that until after. So they like called it Echo.
Really?
That's like a rumor rolling around. That would be a way better. Way better. But if it's not true, we're all going to be disappointed now.
Yeah, I refuse to get my hopes up.
Which Echo could be in it, but it's like,
oh my God.
I just don't think she did enough for me to be like, oh, wow. Like, if you watch that show and you'd be like, all right, they're making a spinoff about one of these characters, you'd be like, oh, it's Kate Bishop or it's Yelena, or even like
Maybe
Kingpin,
Kingpin
or
gets a show.
yeah, something like that. A lot of the last people be like, no, it's Echo. Like, wait, really? That's the person who's getting a spinoff here? That was one of the most least interesting people in the story, and I like didn't really care about her, and I didn't think she was that great. I don't know.
It's hard to be great when you're deaf, but still.
Tell that to frickin' the girl from Eternals. She was great.
I guess that's true.
She was great. No, but like I just like to for her to lead her own show would be kind of like that's out of left field. Like we're making shows about Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye, an original Avenger, Loki, Tom Hiddleston. Like these are A-listers from like deep into Marvel, and they're not even getting movies. They're barely getting a show.
Yeah.
And then Echo, the second, third biggest bad guy from Hawkeye, is getting her own show. Like it's just very strange to me.
The human being Echo would be definitely the least intriguing part of the show Echo.
Yes. Yes, although I was like, oh, Kingpin. Yeah, no, you'd be watching it for. So that's why
that's
people
me.
are like,
that's me looking for more information on Marvel.
Yeah.
More than anything else.
Yes, so yes, exactly. But if it ends up being an Echo show, well, we know Kingpin's going to be in it, whether it's Daredevil or Echo, and there's a good chance Daredevil's in it, whether it's Echo or Daredevil. So I'm sure that's the plot line they're going down in some form. You know what the show's called.
He wouldn't have been in No Way Home.
And you made a great point, I think, in the No Way Home predictions going in, that like they need to introduce, if they're going to introduce Daredevil, they need to do it now because there's not going to be a situation where they're in New York for a while. Well, it's kind of the same logic with, okay, now you introduced him. If you're going to use him, like they're obviously have plans to use him in one of the next 5 movies or show properties, and the next 3 are like huge. Like, you know what I mean? Not in a situation where you would be like, oh, we need a guy who can fight well in New York. Like,
yeah.
So
no, Doctor Strange doesn't deal in fisticuffs.
No, Doctor Strange doesn't need Daredevil's help. He's good. He's good. Yeah. He's a master of the mystic arts. He'll be just fine without old Daredevil. But what else? Yeah. So the Echo thing was a big thing for me, where I was like, all right, it just goes to show. I think we're all a little hard on bad guys because they're hard to pull off. If you just look at like just the percentages of like bad guys we like in Marvel. Like, if you look at like the top 10, like Avengers, it's like, damn, it's like even like you get down to like, you know, obviously he's high up for you, but like Doctor Strange now, but like in the heat of the Avengers wouldn't even be like top 5. And that's insane. The top 5 villains are like, oh yeah, those are pretty good. And like top 3 are like, oh, that's amazing. Yeah. It's hard to pull off really good villains. It really is. And I do think that was a struggle of this show. But maybe we're a little hard on it in general, because what do we see? The common themes with Marvel in most movies, in comic book, whatever, is like, oh, the bad guy wasn't great. And when it is, that's usually what equates to being an incredible movie. I mean, I'm sure our top 5 bad guys, like there's a correlation with our top 5 movies. You know, I'm not saying they're that exactly the same, but pulling off a bad guy is a really, really important thing for a movie. And just because the bad guy's okay doesn't mean it's going to make the movie okay. It can still be very good. In this case, I still thought Hawkeye was very good.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of funny to think about, because like everyone always goes to the go-to is like, well, the bad guy was kind of weak. It's like, that can be true, but it's incredibly hard. So when you do get a bad guy that's awesome, like it makes it special. Like that's why it's like Vulture. It seems so simple, but like what a great thing they pulled off there. It's why he's like top 3 for me. Like I
love dialogue from Michael Keaton.
Yes, exactly. Dialogue is important, acting is important, and then your purpose. Like why are you angry? Why are you trying to, you know, what is your motivations? Motivations are huge, and they're hard to do without using one of the overused tropes like revenge or it's hard to do without that. When a superhero, it's like they get so much screen time, they can be funny and lighthearted and be like, wow, Chris Evans is amazing. Like, and well acted, and maybe not as much pressure there, but just kind of a side tangent there, just kind of a thought. I'm trying to think of just anything else I really wanted to talk about with the show. Did you have anything else to add in general? Like we said, I thought Florence Pugh and Haley Steinfeld were great, but in
Oh,
general, I thought she was a great addition to the show, even though I didn't like the way it finished. But I'm
yeah.
excited for her in the future. That's for sure.
I was gonna ask, when is the next property to feature Haley Steinfeld? Fucking damn it! Yeah,
Yeah,
Haley
you with
Steinfeld.
Haley Steinfeld. Um,
What's
that's a
the
good question.
deal with shooting arrows?
I'd
No.
have to look at the lineup coming
Yeah,
down the pipe. Because yeah, you got what Multiverse of Madness coming
yep,
up.
yep. Thor: Love and Thunder is coming up.
Yeah, that's gonna be no one from Earth.
No.
um, yeah, She-Hulk.
Maybe She-Hulk.
She-Hulk's doable. Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion is definitely doable.
Yeah, the Blade eventually. So like the problem is we're actually weirdly enough getting to a little bit of a slow time, so it might take a while. But either way, I just want to commend the MCU. One of the strongest things they do is truly their casting, because Haley
Definitely.
Seinfeld's awesome,
Yep.
and then Florence Pugh is amazing. I can't think of his name right now, but the actor who plays Shang-Chi, it's like these are Florence Pugh and Haley Steinfeld had like done stuff before and are good actresses, but kind of up and coming. They seem to get the perfect timing of like up and coming, like you kind of know them, and then boom, push them to superstar.
Chris Pratt.
Um,
Yeah.
Chris Pratt, I mean, all of them really. Like even
No, yeah,
Hemsworth was not the
absolutely.
star he was. Even Evans was definitely not the star he was.
No,
So
never
like
was.
but they've all kind of like had done things and shown some prowess. And they got a great formula there, and they just keep nailing it, keep nailing it. The only one like Shang-Chi guy was like nothing before this, but what a find! Like
What a find.
they continue to amaze me in their casting, and it's something that is easier said than done. Because even though I do think some of the DC people, it's like, oh, they're good at their role, they're not like iconic. Like even like Wonder Woman's great, but like she doesn't need to be Gal Gadot. Like she doesn't need to be. She looks like it, and she plays it well.
Sure, yeah.
Um, but she doesn't like need like I don't like, oh wow, that's the person. Like I can't see anyone else playing Wonder Woman. Like you don't see that with really any of
No,
the DC. So you have to commend it for what it is in the
absolutely. No one
MCU.
else is playing Iron Man but Robert Downey Jr.
Exactly.
No one.
Exactly. Like I think Henry Cavill is an incredible Superman. Probably the closest they have to that, but we know people will continue to play Superman in the future. It's just one of
Oh,
those
yeah,
characters.
for sure.
Um, we didn't get Spider-Man flying over. Hey guys,
Yeah, that was
I
weird.
didn't
It was the
expect that.
same area at the
I know
same
I didn't
time, sort
expect
of.
it though. To be honest, it's the problem is with you do cameos for just cameos' sake. Like the MCU has kind of stayed out of that because it can steal from the show. I think.
I guess. But I
Uh,
mean, you don't even have to like focus the camera on it. Just have them whip by.
but how would he have whipped by and not notice what's happening and stepped in?
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's a good
Uh,
point. Yeah, sure
but
that is.
you know, I want to see if there's anything else. Didn't like the LARPers I had written down. Like the
Yeah, that's its
relationship.
own line. Yeah, good.
Yelena and Kate Bishop I thought were great.
Yeah.
Really liked. Also, I know they just continue to do it because we love it, but I'm a sucker for it. So who cares? Give me every blip scene you can see, every snap scene you can see, because
Yep.
Yelena's was the coolest one yet.
Yeah.
So
100%.
cool. The effect of it too. I actually was like, is she like, are we having a multiverse moment here? Like, what's going on?
Oh yeah.
But it was incredibly cool, and it's like they've done it in pretty much every one of the shows. It's like I don't care. I'm a
No,
sucker
more.
for it. I want to see
More.
more.
Put it in my
Same
veins.
with like a different perspective of like the war in 2012 in New York. I don't care. I'm a sucker for looking back on
Oh
a
yeah.
different perspective from an old Marvel movie. It's such a fun tool, and yeah, they use it a ton, but it's because we like it. Who cares?
Absolutely. This was one of the best openings of a Marvel show. Maybe
Yeah, it
the
was
best
very good.
openings of a Marvel show. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was
The
really good.
Hawkeye just flipping so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. No, it was very good. And that's one last thing. If I could, we'll finish up here. Jeremy Renner has done a great job with Hawkeye all the way through, but I thought he did the excellent, like, I don't want to do this, like old kind of want to be retired, wanting to be with
Getting
his
too
family,
old
but
for this
knowing
shit.
knowing he can't, battling
Yeah.
with his old Ronin persona, which was also a very cool part of the show. I'm glad it was as
Great
big
part
a
of the
part
show.
of the show.
Yeah.
I just want to shout out Jeremy Renner, killed it in this series. Like, was
Absolutely.
really, really good. Really, really good. Hit the emotional beats, hit the kind of annoyed, like, I don't want to do this, all that, like I just said. But he was great. Overall, I thought the cast did a great job. So that always, I mean, little stuff like that will push a show up, and all the little things they nailed. So it just goes to show if they nail all the little things and you have fun with it, and you're not expecting a ton, and you don't need it on a great scale, you can make a good show that way.
Absolutely.
Falcon Winter Soldier.
Cough, cough.
Actually, let's do that. Let's just finish up here. What are you? How would you rank the 4 MCU shows we've seen? There's 4, right?
Yeah.
What would be your ranking?
Yeah. I think it's the same as yours, but Falcon Winter Soldier sucks. It's not a good show. Bad, bad, bad Marvel. Bad.
You know better.
You know
That's why
better.
we're not upset. We're disappointed because we
disappointed.
know what you can do.
Yeah, exactly. WandaVision above that. I really like this show. I think I had the highest expectations for it going into it because I just like the,
you were
the
more
mystic
excited than me.
kind of side of things. I like Scarlet Witch as a character, and as
Well, I thought you were talking about this show. Sorry,
yeah.
but yes,
No, you're good.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
that's true.
I like Scarlet Witch as a character, so I was kind of excited for that. It was fine. It was good. No complaints about it. I'm excited to see what's her name, Huntress or whatever, the girl from Parks and Rec.
No, that's not her name.
That's not her name. Whatever.
Keep ranking. I'll find it.
Okay, yeah, she's great. Excited to see what she comes up with next. And then this. I came in really hot into this show. I think it has the best, probably first 3 episodes.
Agnes is
what's her bad girl name?
Hartha Third or Agnes
Hartha Third,
something like that.
Whatever.
Agnes is definitely like her bad
right. Girl. Yeah, I want to know her bad girl name.
The Huntress is from DC.
Spider-Man? DC.
That's Huntress is in Harley Quinn.
Oh,
that's a separate.
I don't care about DC. And then
it literally just says Agnes.
Really? Oh, okay, whatever. Yeah, no. This show's great. Met expectation. No complaints about it. Excited to see all the characters do their own thing here in the near future, especially Haley Steinfeld. And then Loki, number 1, with a bullet, in my opinion. Yeah, the Pompeii scene alone is cooler than anything in this show, but I really did like Loki top to bottom. Had a couple flubs, especially episode, was it 2, 3?
Yeah, there was one that wasn't great. Yeah,
weird. But God, Tom Hiddleston is awesome. And Hiddleston. Every time.
Do names today. Hiddleston, yeah. I'll say you're consistent.
Yeah,
you've committed them to memory, and you won't hear otherwise.
yeah. But yeah, no, I like that show.
So I will definitely say Falcon and Winter Soldier is last by a lot. Some people really like that show, and that's fine. I'm one of those people that I think plot should make sense, and bad guys should have motivation other than we're upset, so we're gonna blow things up. But hey, that's real life. Some people just get upset and blow things up. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I put that last. Just didn't love that show for lots of reasons, but we'll get into that maybe another time. But the acting and everything was kind of subpar. I thought they did my boy dirty.
Your Winter Soldier boy.
Winter Soldier character that I love, Bucky, I thought was not given much to do in that show. But then I would then go. This is really tough because it's really close. For the sake of changing it up, I think this show is more rewatchable. I think this show might have been more fun, but I think WandaVision was a better show. So I'm going to put this 3. Very close. I think if 1 is here, 4 is here, and these are really close. One's number 1 by a lot, number 4 by a lot. Sure. These are really tight here in the middle. If I was bored and didn't have anything to watch and had a Saturday, I'd be like, I'd rather rewatch this. But I thought WandaVision highs hit so much more. The episode of her going back and looking at her kind of childhood and then showing her how she became the Scarlet Witch is maybe the best episode in any of these shows so far, close.
Quite possibly, yeah.
And I thought that show had a lot of highs. I didn't love the old-timey TV thing, even though I thought it was probably done well. It just wasn't for me. That's just the sitcom-y stuff. So the first couple episodes there, I don't ding it for it, but it's also like part of the reason it's not overly rewatchable. If I rewatch it, I might start on episode 3, like kind of something
WandaVision
like
also
that.
had like the best cliffhangers, I think, of any of
Yes.
the Marvel shows.
The mystery, the cliffhangers, I was incredibly intrigued every week. It was like, I need to get to the TV to find out what's going on in WandaVision.
Yeah.
In a way that I didn't watch this every day it came out. It was like, oh yeah, Hawkeye came out. I didn't schedule around Hawkeye, you know. But it was a ton of fun and, like I said, more rewatchable. And then, like you said, Loki's number 1 with a bullet. Loki is clearly the best. I think the intrigue. What a fun kind of like mystery thriller with great acting. I liked him in the Lady Loki, the TVA. Just finding out little more and more about that. It did what WandaVision did, and like it made me want to come back for the next week, but yet was a plot I was way more interested in.
Yep.
With characters I'm just more interested in from old movies. But it should say something because WandaVision made me like Wanda and Vision, something I liked them but didn't really care about them before. So they should get credit for that. But it's Loki with the bullet, but we're running a little late. So that's my 4. It's your 4. Go see Hawkeye. Watch Hawkeye, man. It's at home. Like it's 6 episodes.
6 episodes.
These things are short. Like Hawkeye is very easy to watch. If that is anything else, like I can throw on there. Last thoughts, Kevin. Anything you got to say to the people before we kick it on out of here?
We love you.
We do love you, and we're glad to be back. We're back, damn it.
We're back, baby.
We're back. We're like the McRib. We're back. I don't know if the McRib's back right now, but yeah, hey. But yes, we'll be reviewing stuff coming up. Obviously, Multiverse of Madness. We'll see maybe some other stuff.
Yeah.
We'll check the old schedule, but we'll be back next week to probably just talk movies, man, and maybe have a fun ranking game or something coming up. So this has been the 2DCU. Check us out on YouTube. We have a new Twitter, by the way. I'll throw it at the end. Follow our Twitter, damn it. Our Twitter's funny. We're funny.
We're funny.
We put breaking news and movie stuff and all that. So please follow our Twitter. We'll throw that in at the end. Find us on YouTube, podcast services, type in 2DCU, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It helps so much. And we appreciate you taking a little slice out of your day to talk some Marvel with us because Marvel's so damn fun.
Goddamn right it is.
Kevin, say your line.
Don't be a dick.
Oh, I was going to say have a marvelous day, but same thing. All right. Check you.